Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
All right, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Frankly Francisco podcast. Today, I have a special guest. She is a content brander. She gives branding advice. She tries to show you ways on how to improve your podcast, ways to market yourself. She does coaching. She is right now offering specials, discounts on what she can offer you for her services. I'd like to introduce everybody to
The Real Keshmed.
MED. So tell me a little bit about your background.
Okay.
So I see you're everywhere. You're everywhere on IG. I see you're blown up. I mean, your followers are going nuts right now. You're almost at 10K. I see you always on the live, having people on. So tell me what got you into this particular business.
I'll say basically I always had a creative life in general. I've been a creative person growing up, far as being a performer, far as just my design skills. So like that, when I got to college, I knew that I wanted to study like either performing arts or like the advertising skills. So I went to college for advertising and public relations. And then I got my bachelor's in that. But then I went on and got my master's in education. So I want to be able to educate, motivate people, and have that standpoint of the coaching perspective. So that's a little bit about my background, my college experiences. I did have a podcast before too, called On the Cloud Podcast with a friend from college. That was like my foundation, how I got comfortable with the camera, learned how to operate that. And then I transitioned to wanting to help businesses, wanting to help artists. So I allowed free interview promotions for months, couple months straight, where I interview different businesses and artists on my live. And that's probably how you see me. And then now it's basically transition. Like those are different like phases of my life. It's within branding, within what I can do, but it's all going towards my ultimate goal, which is MED Network. My name is Keisha Jones, so that's my real name, Keisha Jones, but it's Keisha Jones MED now because I have my master's in education. But MED for my version in business, it stands for motivated, educated, and dedicated. So it'll be MED Network when that business finally launched, and you'll see like why everything built up to that.
Well, like I said, I see you everywhere. I see you working. I see you grinding. So from a woman's perspective, especially a Black woman's perspective, do you find it tougher to be in this business? Do you feel like you have to work harder in this business because you're a woman and you're a minority woman? Because you know there's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to judge. You know what I mean? They're going to come up with their own conclusions. So what have you found it to be the hardest? What has been your pain point when building this business up?
I think the hardest thing is what really being motivated and controlling your own feelings and what other people are not saying. So for me, I have like the credibility and I'm determined to accomplish the goal. I have the credibility because I went to school for it. So like in that perspective, a lot of people who are in the education world or that took the school route, they're probably looking at me crazy like, why are you doing this? But you could have just got a job and do this. But in reality, I'm working and then I'm trying to push the business at the same time. So it's double work. But that would be the hardest thing is just other people's opinions about what I am doing and how like the media is so scary. Like if you say the wrong thing or you do the wrong thing, it might jeopardize your reputation. So that's also hard is trying to keep a positive image or a brand related to what you want it to be and not get in the mix of all the negativity that social media offers.
So do you find like you and we're both minorities, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this is just me. I feel like I have to work twice as hard just to get where I need to be. Do you feel like you have to do that as well? Do you feel like you have to work twice as hard as everybody else to try to get seen and get heard?
Of course. That's why my voice goes away all the time. But of course, just being a minority and then being a woman, that's two in one.
Right.
So that makes it even harder. So, like, I'll say for me, networking and getting to know all different types of people, all different types of backgrounds, it's been the thing that's been helping and made it like easier through the process. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
I want people to I don't want people to just to look at you as a woman. I want people to know that you have a business. You are a boss. You
Mm-hmm.
are the one who is taking charge of what you need to do. But sometimes, reality doesn't fit for some people's narrative. You know what I mean? So people always are going to make their judgments on things. So how do you navigate that? So let's say you have a client, they get to talking to you. Have you had that situation where they didn't want to take your advice and you had to either, step aside from them or try to convince them that you were the one that they needed to work with?
Yeah, I've been getting that lately too. Is that's the hardest part about my job. I'll say I was actually academic advisor for a couple years in education. So it's always been a struggle where you would try to give someone advice or a student or a potential client, but it's their choice to use it in a way that they should. I know in my mind, like, this is what's working for me. It may not work for them, but in reality, if you never know if you don't try it. And just coming from a marketing branding background, it's a lot of tips and tricks and ways how you can get yourself known. A lot of things we have to do that's not comfortable what we're already doing, getting out of your comfort zone. So, like, I get it all the time. A lot of people is like, I hear you, like, I hear what you're saying,
Mhm.
but that's not me. So the media world, it's different. You have to be comfortable, you have to interact with your audience. That's how you grow from nothing, is interacting, getting to know people and networking. So if you're not willing to do that stuff, it's hard to even grow beyond that.
So, what has been your proudest moment so far since you've been starting this business? What has been the one thing that stood out to you the most that you can say, you can look back on and say, man, I did this?
I'll say giving on Kevin Samuel's show.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah, you did an interview with Kevin Samuels.
yeah, and that's the most memorable thing because that was the biggest thing I ever done that's out of my comfort zone. Like the reason why I got on there was to connect, engage with people. He has over like 10, 11K people watching, so it grew my following and also introduced them to what I'm doing. So even though I got on there and got degraded, but in reality, I got on there with a purpose from a marketing standpoint. But yeah, that was the most thing that I'll
I
say.
watched it. I think I think you did a good job, and I think you held your own. Kevin Samuels is Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is going to find a way to feed his audience. He's not stupid. He's very good at what he does when it
Yeah.
comes to the marketing piece. Women go on there and they know what they're going to get when they get on there with any woman that says she doesn't know what Kevin Samuels is going to do when she goes on that is a liar. Point blank, period. So you had an inkling how it was going to go, but I still think I watched it. And I still think you held your own against Kevin. So you should be very, very proud of that. You didn't
Thank you.
really, you didn't give in to him. You know what I mean? You didn't fall into the trope. You held your own, even though he tried. He was picking, and Kevin was picking. He was trying. He was trying. How old are you? You know what I'm saying? What's your father's background? How much do you weigh? He always does that just to find his angle to get where he needs to be. It's very smart on his part. That's why he's blowing up the way he's blowing up. But I think you held your own with him, and you should be proud of that because a lot of people don't. A lot of people just hang up on them. A lot of people just, they don't finish the conversation. You stood in there and you boxed with them. You know what I mean? and
Yeah,
you
the whole time.
and the whole time you stood in there. But it was smart on your part because what you did, you used that to your advantage when it comes to your business. And that's the brilliance, I think, of what you do. You find the smallest things that you can fit in and you make it work for yourself. But I think that comes from your background. I mean, you got a master's degree. Nobody can ever take that away from you. You know what I mean? And you can educate other people because your master's is literally in education.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great what you do. But some folks are wanting to do things their own way. Some people feel like they don't need to spend money, but I tell people all the time, you have to spend money to make money. things don't happen for free. And I understand people go, well, you can get everything you need free on the internet. Nah, no. You can't. You can get information free on a lot of information free on the internet, but getting that one-on-one dedication from someone who can actually coach you and teach you how to get to that next level, that's something you just can't get for free. And I think we're at that point in this time where people think, why can't she hook me up? You got bills to pay too. You're trying to build your own company. So how do you deal with that? I know you've had people that say, oh, why don't you hook me up? Oh, why don't you do this for free? But you did it for free. So how do you deal with people that still want that kind of treatment?
Like, I did a lot of test trials. A lot of marketers and advertisers, people you see on Instagram, like, I can teach you how to grow and join this. I just sit back and watch and critique everybody and see, like, I really went to college for this, so I really know. But I just sit back and see, like, no one's doing it right, sort of thing. And then, like, to handle those type of situations, I'll like mention like I did like those interviews or I did these free promos. Like I had the free wave. So when the pricing comes, I can always mention like I did that before, but this is I evolved from that situation or from that specific thing. So in reality, I can always mention like for me, I had to get a health and wellness coach to get my health together. Or Spectacular, that's my mentor. He's in Pretty Ricky. He's helping me on the media presence. Like I had to invest in all these things. I feel like personally, anything that should be free is if it's a partner or relationship where I help you with branding or media and you help me with whatever you have to offer. That's the only way I could see like things should be free in just life general.
So do you find it an issue like with I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you, the culture?
Oh yeah.
The culture. It's the culture. We, for some, and it's black and brown because I'm Puerto Rican. It's the same thing in my culture. It's people want things for free. People want things, don't want to pay. A stranger will pay you more money than somebody you know.
Yeah.
So have you found that to be a big issue within the culture of people not wanting to pay up for your services?
Yeah. Yeah. And I seen that shift. I tested it just like an experiment. This is my example. I did those promotion interviews with artists and business owners, influencers. I did it for like 2 months straight, free. And then when I stopped, gave myself a break and put a price on it, no one, no one was interested no more. And then that was just a test because now everybody wants everything free. You can throw out, even in groups when you're networking, like Facebook groups or just groups in general. Hey, I have this service. It's free. Everybody runs in trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But when you're charging, you should know it's a difference between content. Free content and content with pricing, it's a reason why it has a price. It's something that you don't know, or it's something that's valuable that you should know. And anything that's free, you should look at it like, okay, like, what's the head behind this? It got to be some type of reason why it's free, sort of thing. So that's how I look at it. And it's just hard educating like our people, Black people in general, because we look for all the ways, ins and outs on how to get rich. Like, of course, we all want to get rich, but a lot of you guys are not even doing the precaution or taking the first steps. And
Yeah,
that's just furthering your education.
Yeah, they don't want to do the legwork. Like I've said it before, those people stand in line 6 hours to get a pair of Jordans, but won't stand in line to at a job fair to go get a job. That's just it's to me. I'm tired of people using the culture as an excuse as to why we're not where we are. You know, like I heard there was something I heard that actually made me think really, and it made a lot of sense. There was a rap. I don't know who Murphy Lee is. He used to rap with Nelly. He made a statement. He said that the culture, you're flossing to the poor. That's all you're doing. You're flossing to your own people who are poor. You're showing off to the people who are poor in your own communities, saying, I got more money than you do. You know what I mean? And I think that's the mindset that we need to get away from. Showing out, saying, oh, I got all these riches and all these chains and diamonds and stuff. But what is that doing? What kind of mentality is that giving people? And there's other ways for us to make money as people, but we choose the fast track. We don't want to put the legwork in. And then when we do get the legwork in, we don't want to pay the person who's worked the behind off to get where they are. We want everything as a discount because we're supposed to be family. We're brothers and sisters. So we're supposed to look out for each other. That's not how that works.
Yeah, and they will go pay another race their price and respect that. And I don't get it. I
Yeah, I
really
don't
do.
get it either. We fall trapped. Don't get me wrong. Everybody likes nice things. Everybody likes nice car, nice clothes. But you'll go out and pay $8,000 for a Versace belt, but then you won't support a young black artist that has clothes that's coming out that's top tier, good quality, all that. You want it at a discount. People like the known, they don't like the unknown. So it
Yeah.
takes a lot longer for people to build their brand up to get themselves out there. But you're on track with that. You're getting there, you're getting the followers. What is long-term goals for you with this stuff? Because I know there has to be an end game. I know you want to, what kind of company overall, what is your target audience? Who are you trying to focus on the most right now with this?
Okay. I'll do this. Okay. I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna ask you a quick question.
Mhm.
When you see like if advertisers and people into branding and things like that, do you ever hear them say, find your one target audience and work on that audience and stay there?
No.
Like, have you ever heard that before? Like, you need to find your target audience, or well, that's one thing that they always make you do is like before you start your business, you need to know who you're selling to, which is true. But for me, MED Network is going to provide for every audience that there is, because I want it to be where I'm creating a system, a network
Mhm.
where I can connect people together. And when I say connect, I mean, I don't care if you're an artist, I don't care if you're a website developer, I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, anything that we need within communities, urban communities, people need to know if I need help moving tomorrow, who do I connect to? So like MED Network would be a big networking system with all different types of business owners, events, conferences, gathering knowledge from all different backgrounds together in one room. Because normally when you see things like that, you see all of the same people networking. I want it to be different, various backgrounds, so you can learn from different communities and understand the issues that's going on all over the world. So MED Network is more of like a motivation, education, dedication aspect, but me utilizing branding and my advertising services to push it.
And I respect that. So the reason I say I respect that is because, and you're right, a lot of these communities are segregated off. You have an Asian community, you have the Arabic community, you'll have the Indian community, which is part of the Asian community, the Black community, Hispanic community. Everybody's separated. Nobody works in conjunction with each other. Money stays within those. I can really say this, the only two communities that the money doesn't stay in the community is the Black and Brown community. Money goes out as fast
Mm.
as it comes in. If you look at the Asian community, the Arabic community, the money stays within the community. They build within the community. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. You live in Michigan, do you not?
Yep, I do.
So you look at Dearborn, Michigan, one of the largest populations of Arabics in the country right now. They built an entire community there. They have everything there within that area. They keep that money within that area. We're the only communities that do not do that. We don't pump money in. We just, the money we get in, we pump it right back out. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have. We don't know how to grow ourselves. We don't know how to sustain wealth. Money comes in as fast as it goes out. That's why you have people who become multimillionaires or broke within 5 years of having their money, because they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to manage their money. And I like the fact that you want to educate people, not just on branding, but educate them on, finances and ways to grow your business. And it's just, I think it's a broad thing that you want to do. You just don't want to stay stuck in one mode.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
then like I get tired of people reaching out like I can't who creates logos or who do this? I hate when like marketers tell you what you need to do. You need to create a reel, you need to create a TikTok. What if the person is not good at that skill? Who can they connect with to get that job done? Who can make my logo? Who can create my business plan? Who can create my LLC? Like who can help you in the processes of things you need to be helped with? We're just out here lost. with no network. And I learned that from college is that I was in a space, I went to a PWI, but I was in a space where I was able to connect with people and network with all different types of people to get the job done.
Mhm.
So that's what the world needs, whether you go to college or not. So that's my take on that.
Well, I mean, listen, this is what it's you're here for. It's I hear the passion in your voice. You don't start a business unless you're passionate about it. This is why I started podcasting because I'm passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about talking to people and showing off people like you, people who are on the rise, people who are trying to build something for themselves, people who want to build generational wealth going in the future, which I think we have an issue with. And I appreciate the fact that you are doing this. I don't look at you as a woman. I don't look at you as a minority. I look at you as a boss. I look at you as a CEO of a company who wants to build her brand and expand herself out. But that's the way I see it. A lot of people may not see it that way. A lot of people may have adverse reactions to you. A lot of people might doubt you, but this is not what I'm here for you. I'm here to say, hey, look, I see you blowing up. I see you getting where you
Thank
need to
you.
get to. I really do. It's you have to have that passion. You have that passion in what you do. It's a skill. A lot of people don't realize that what you do is a skill. Education plays a big role in what you're doing. Some folks make it big without education. I can't say that they don't because they do. But your path, you took the educational path to start moving where you are, and you just need to keep working on that and getting where you're going. So, what do you have? What do you have coming up? Do you have any events coming up? Do you have any virtual events coming up that people can see you on? What are your handles that you go by?
So far as right now, far as services I'm doing, so interviews, if any business owner, artist, influencer, model, athlete, whatever, whoever, everyone needs help with branding. I'm doing interviews one-on-one, starting back again over live on Instagram. So you'll see a lot of those coming back soon. Also just one-on-one branding. If you don't want to learn over the live space, we definitely can do the one-on-one branding thing. I am popping on Twitter. I love Twitter. Twitter is my favorite app. It's the best app without all the crazy algorithms going on. So I love Twitter. I do have weekly spaces every Thursday at 8 p.m. Where you can come connect on Twitter, get some branding advice, and network with other people on Twitter who's interested as well. And far as all my handles, it's at the Real Keshmed. On Twitter, on Instagram. You can follow me on those, and yeah,
So
that's what's coming up.
so no TikTok.
It is it's at the Real Quiche, but TikTok is like my last space you'll see me at right
Yeah,
now.
I found it difficult with the algorithm on TikTok. It's
Yeah.
like if you say something that TikTok don't like, it'll show only like 600 people or 200 people. And then one of the biggest things is what do you this I want your opinion on this. What do you think about like paying for promotion? So like podcast, somebody like me, my podcast, I'm not drawing in 500 people every week downloads. My downloads normally, average, 30, 40 downloads because I haven't done this but more than for a year. So I'm trying to build that up. So do you think I'm not saying buying likes. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying buying likes.
I
I'm not
know
saying buying
it.
followers. What I'm saying is paying to promote it, meaning for the tweets to go out to a larger audience, for the TikTok views to go out to a larger audience. Do you think that is a good way to promote your business, whether it be podcast business, if you're an artist, director, things of that nature?
I honestly will say once you hit a good average number is like 5K because you're like in the middle sort of thing.
Mhm.
It's hard because people like to do a lot of ads, but you have to remember when you do that ad and it increase people to come to your page, if your page is not revamped or in a space where they want to follow you or want to look at your content, they won't. So that's where I go in with ads. My mentor told me that like once you have like at least 5K followers and you have your page branded in a way that it should be, far as how the content looks, what the bio says, and that information, ads are perfect because when they come there, they have no choice to follow you. But if they can seek improvement, and if you can seek improvement, it's hard to deal with ads. So my best advice would be is in the startup phase and the growing phase is to interact with the followers you do have. Because a lot of us, we have our followers. That's been my focus. I have 9K, but I'm reaching out to like 50 a day to see like, hey, I can help you with this. I can do this. You see me doing this. So like interacting breaks the algorithm. Now you sent them a DM. Now they're interacting with you. Now they can see you more. Once you build a community with the followers you do have, now you're ready to grow because now those followers are on your side. And that's what we're not looking at is the people who are here, but we don't even know if they know that we're here. They're just there because of the algorithm. So really taking a look at what you do have and then building that
Mhm.
and then growing from there.
So what I found though in the podcast community, a lot of the followers we have on IG is all other podcasters. That's
Oh,
so in the podcast community, that's what tends to happen. So a lot of the podcasters interact with each other. That's just the way it is. So I don't have that many followers on IG. Like I said, I haven't been doing this. It'll be a year come January that I've been running my podcast. You know, trying to grow my page. I've only got 200 something followers on IG. I love Twitter. I'm on Twitter as well. You know what I mean? I got 64 followers on there. TikTok, I got 64 followers there. Believe it or not, I've been getting more interaction on Facebook, honestly, because I have a Facebook fan page. I've been getting more interactions on Facebook with people watching my videos and people starting to like the page that are not on my friends list than I have with IG, that I have with TikTok and Twitter, which is crazy to
that's
me.
where you start at. Are you utilizing groups on Facebook too?
I
Like
don't know.
podcasting groups?
No, I'm not utilizing podcasting groups. I just have a fan page, and what I do is I throw up my videos there, and it'll just I cut clips, and then I put those clips on Facebook, and the Facebook algorithm takes it in, and it goes where it goes. One of my videos has had like 1,000 and something views already. You know, and that's like my best video that I put up is because it was tagged with Dave Chappelle. You know, the whole situation with Dave. So I had a
Hmm.
clip when I was talking about it. So it's weird. It's weird how social media works. We can try to use it to our advantage, but I'm 42. I've never been big on the whole social media. I'm still learning as I go to with this stuff. So yes, I could utilize your services at some point
Yes, I can definitely help.
to
And
help
social
build my
media,
brand.
I'm not gonna lie to you, is keeping up with the trends. Like our work don't matter to nobody in
Yeah.
reality. It don't matter until we're big enough for it to matter. So we have to do things. It matters to us. It matters to what we're doing, but to everybody else, they're looking at it like, oh, they're not important yet because we're not big yet. So they're just flipping through, watching it. They see it's something positive, but they're not really into it because it's of who you are.
Yeah.
You're not to that point where you have all those followers and everything you do or say is important to everyone. So you have to keep up, like even with your podcasting shows or however you do it, you have to stay on the trends that's going on and kind of compare, like you said, Dave Chappelle, that one got the most views because you were trending on what's going on.
Yeah.
So like sticking on the trends, adding hashtags, you'll continue to grow and grow.
I kind of don't want to do that either though, because I don't want to
Yeah.
follow the trends. Because to me, I don't want to do that. That's not the kind of podcaster I want to be. I don't want to talk about something. The only reason I brought up Dave Chappelle is because the episode was about echo chambers. It's about how everybody starts talking and it just goes out into the ether and it starts building steam. But that's not what my show's about. My show's about talking to people like you, up and comers, people who are trying to build something for themselves. And when we get lost in the shuffle about trying to keep up with the Joneses, this is where we get ourselves in trouble, I think, sometimes. I don't want to change who I am. I don't want to change how my show flow goes. I understand that I have to improve certain things to get my stuff out there. I don't curse on my show because you never know who's listening. At the end of the day, I want to try to get a sponsorship deal. Period. This is the whole point of podcasting. You do it because you're passionate, but at the same time, you want to start making money with this.
Yep. And
So
not necessarily tell you to hop on the trends and make your podcast about trends, but like how you said your show had a purpose, it
mhm,
had a title, and you included a trend within the show and you used that clip for that. So like for example, we did this show here and I brought up maybe Kevin Samuels or like something like that. And it was just a piece of the show, but we just mentioned someone who has the content or has the credibility, and that's what helps you grow even more, and you'll just see growth. Definitely keep what you're doing. and keep expanding what you're doing. Don't change that. But it's the trends, literally. That's what
Yeah.
helps people grow. It's so fast, is the trends.
But also negativity. People love, I don't care what anybody says, people love the negative. If you have a negative story, it's gonna blow up. People love, they'll take negativity over positivity any day of the week. You'll get more views off something negative than you will off something positive. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. How do you feel about that?
I hate it, but I just understand it. I understand it. I understand that this is social media world. I understand that that's why I wasn't getting the support I had with my podcast and things like that because everything was so positive. Now, kind of transitioning into 2022, I will say be on the lookout, whoever's watching, or just be on the lookout that I'm going to take a negative perspective that's still positive,
Huh.
but a negative approach.
Okay.
So now, like maybe where I'm educating people, maybe I'm telling people now what you're doing wrong, sort of thing. Or
Gotcha.
like taking a more negative approach, but you're still pushing towards positivity. Like we have to go around what's going on and keep up with the algorithms because that's the only way we're gonna grow. And that's what the algorithms pay attention to is what's negative too. So
So
you
you have
see
my
the news outlets and all of that, Twitter, they keep up with all the negativity.
So you have my full support moving forward. Like I'm going to support your page. I'm going to support you as a business owner. You know, I'm gonna do my best to try to get people. This is what the podcast is for, is to try to get people towards you. I'm gonna tag you on everything I can tag you on, just to make sure that we spread the word that we have somebody here that can help you grow your brand. And it's just not podcasting, artists, musicians, directors, movie. It doesn't matter. She is there for everyone. She will
Everyone.
help you with everything. Keisha, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure having you on. You are more than welcome to come back on. I love having a woman's perspective on this show. You are only the fourth woman that I've interviewed this year out of all the episodes that I've done. Sometimes it's a little hard chasing people down to get them on the show, but I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show with me.
Thank
Thank
you. I
you.
seen it. I was ready. I love the camera.
So thank you for dropping knowledge on my audience, letting them know what you can do for them, and just let them know that you're just not a face. You are a CEO. You are an educator. You can teach. You can show people. They just have to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on the show, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
No problem.